Hello there, everyone. Welcome back to some more Let's Play Eternal Darkness. In the last episode, we started playing the game. We watched as Alex Roivas here was having a bad dream and witnessed her nightmare as it was happening. She found herself trapped in a small room, armed with a shotgun, but fighting several horrific-looking creatures. Very thin-looking zombies or something of the sort, but with twisted, gross faces. Very grotesque. She then saw an image of her grandfather as a ghost or spirit who reached out to her and asked her to remember him. And as she reached out to him, she heard a phone ringing. At that exact moment, she woke up. The phone in her room had been going off. And she discovered that something had happened to her grandfather. She took the next flight out to Rhode Island, where she was asked to identify her grandfather's remains. He was decapitated and mutilated. Blood covered the floor. There was a sheet over the body, and the only thing she could recognize was the ring on his finger. She vowed that she would get to the bottom of what had occurred. And the detective had no clue what had happened. There was no sign of any forced entry into the house, and yet there was a great deal of force used to destroy her grandfather. 2 weeks have passed, and Alex has decided to investigate the house herself. Armed with nothing but a key, she searched the ground floor and what she could access on the second floor, but the key snapped within the lock, preventing her from accessing most of what's on the second floor. The first floor contained a piano, a strange seal blocking off a room, a telescope, an observatory, and a library. We found in the library a clock, and we discovered that the clock should be set to a certain time. 3:33 a.m. Or just 3:33 for it. It's a grandfather clock. You don't have an AM or PM difference there. After setting it to that time, we found this room. Our grandfather had been doing research into the occult, apparently. There's several items of occult paraphernalia in here, and quite a bit of research spent trying to decipher some of it. Most of this will have some bearing on what is actually happening, and Alex will be reading all of it, since we've discovered the Tome of Eternal Darkness on the table here. The tome contained the story of one Pius Augustus, a Roman centurion who had been looking for an artifact with several other members of his company. He heard someone or some things call out to him, and traveled in between these 5 pillars, whereupon he was teleported into an underground labyrinth. He navigated through it, fighting off creatures that resembled the strange things Alex had fought off in her dream, eventually arriving at a choice. 3 pedestals, each one having a different artifact on it, glowing with a different color. Pius reached out to the center one, a blue artifact shaped like some sort of strange jellyfish. Upon reaching for it, he was infused with power of some sort. It seemed to sear him. It looked like he was in a great amount of pain, and when he rose, clutching on that plinth, we saw that his flesh had been burned away. He babbled about time and space, and mentioned a name, Ulioth, a name that we will hear frequently as we go forward. And now with all this done, I'm going to put a small break here, because I really like how this intro came out, and then we can adjust the audio and the brightness just a tad. Okay, so I went ahead and lowered... Yes, this is an awkward cut. I went ahead and lowered the volume levels just a tad, and I increased this brightness just a tad as well. I don't really want to lower the... I know this part is a bit loud and the whispers are too, but if I begin trying to lower this to a acceptable level, you guys won't hear anything else that's happening in-game. Unfortunately, Raphael, you are correct. There is no way for me to differentiate between the dialogue volume and the volume of this particular music. So, on the hopes that there was nothing more loud, nothing louder, more loud, nothing louder than what we're currently hearing, we're going to leave it at this level. I will wait to record, and the brightness at this level too. I will wait to record the next video until this video goes up. In this way, you guys can once again tell me how my voice is coming out with what we're hearing in the game. Once again, I apologize. There's nothing else I can do about the volume levels, so then hope this is acceptable. All right. Now, we've already visited all the rooms we can currently access in the mansion, and the only thing that we picked up was the Tome of Darkness and the Gladius. We can try the Gladius in the seal downstairs, but I know that's not going to work, because I know what the seal wants us to do. We'll try that later. But we did have a hint last episode that this fragment cannot yet be deciphered, because we needed a tome. Well, we have the tome, probably, that this fragment can be translated with, so let's go ahead and see what this says. Strangely, with the Tome of Eternal Darkness in her possession, Alice can read the page. It's a chapter page from the tome itself. I'll skip reading should Alex take the chapter page from now on, by the way. Whenever anything pops up with a yes or no question, most of the time, 98% of the time, we're going to be saying yes to this. And I'll just go ahead and proceed on. It's called The Binding of the Corpse God. Interestingly, it sounded as if that's from the Book of Eternal Darkness. Oh, hey! We can actually... There's other... I thought there was only this option and the inventory. So we have a map of the mansion. Interesting. And we have videos we can watch. Oh, that's kind of cool. Do you see the eye blinking at us over there near the strange symbol that seals the book? It's showing me which of these GUIs I'm in. Okay, I'm getting distracted. I'm sorry. Oh, that's also interesting. Actually, there's several interesting things here. First off, if this was a part of the Tome of Eternal Darkness, why was it removed? I would have thought the book wouldn't let you remove pages from it. Someone didn't want this being found. And yet our grandfather didn't put it into the book. Maybe he only recently acquired the Tome of Eternal Darkness and had been doing maybe some reading of it or something, but didn't quite finish whatever was in this when it... I'm guessing that this was taken out for a very particular purpose.
I cannot say what was the true beginning, nor am I sure of its end. So perhaps here is the best place to start. I am reminded of ideas I first encountered in Sir James George Fraser's book, The Golden Bough, a study in magic and religion. We are overwhelmed by a very human need to weave a web of meaning where there may be none. Since time immemorial, ancient peoples have dressed up their lack of knowledge as gods and demons. I have discovered that sometimes the fates of gods and mortals intertwine, and legends are born.
Thy time is done, great ancient. Forever in shadow will you be master of chaos, and to fade to nothing in obscurity will be thy fate. My master has planned many millennia for this day. It is the true chaos of all things that you now must be entombed amongst the beings of flesh and bone.
You have a great monument here, Mantarok. It is a pity that no one will ever recognize it as yours. May the darkness claim thee, crawling chaos and damned beast. No longer will thy reign be kept over the ancients you have kept imprisoned. Thou hast seen the last of this world.
Not even these mythical fables can keep me amused. There has to be something to do around here. I only wish something that fantastic and of higher purpose could happen to me.
Be careful of what you wish for. The door is firmly closed, sealing the temple. Perhaps there's another exit somewhere inside? You might just get it. Alright, everyone. A few things before we actually get going. I want to talk about what we just watched and also see what she actually has. So, she has the Tome of Eternal Darkness. I wonder where she acquired this from. Maybe it was set here inside the temple, and she had taken it from its stand and began reading it. This is the Tome of Eternal Darkness, where experienced spells and enchanted items can be stored for future use. It has been made from fragments of human skin and bone, and endowed with magical powers. She's also armed with a short sword. Looks a little bit like a khopesh to me. A short sword with a wooden grip, light and durable. A small curve running from the handle makes it better for hacking rather than stabbing. Good for her going armed. So, the game is one of the few I've played where the story will be told a bit roundabout. We are witnessing what Alex is reading, and I believe our grandfather's notes are probably scribbled on the side of the page, or can be consulted otherwise, which is why he's narrating a bit of it as we start. We are reading a flashback based upon the date we saw, 1150 AD. And Elia here was reading from the Tome of Eternal Darkness from who knows how long ago, where Pasagustus had sealed away this creature called Mantarok, which we can probably assume is the corpse god, master of chaos, but master no longer. Pios seems to have sealed it away somehow. It looked like he at least hurt it severely by dropping those enchanted pillars down into its flesh. Mantarok itself looks like a giant shoggoth, filled with eyes and mouths, without any discernible shape filling that room. I was greatly confused the first time I watched that video, because I thought Pios was a good guy, destroying Mantarok. We will learn that it is not so easy going forward. We've seen this before. This is in the room Alex is in. A triangular design is carved into the floor. The etched grooves are filled with colored sand. These symbols appear to be related to each other, with one having precedence over another. A statue with a necklace around its neck. And 2 passageways, right? Probably one on this side as well. The braziers are lit, which means either this place is indeed upkept in some fashion, or there's some magic involved. Something also sealed her in. I don't recall her stepping on any pressure plates or the like. She's been chosen, is my guess. A statue of a goddess, delicately sculpted from sandstone. It casts an alert eye over everyone who enters the temple. There was a strange necklace about its neck. This necklace can be used to heal Elia. Make sure that Elia does not move when the spell is being cast. Oh, that's a nice touch. I immediately know what this does and why it does it. So there's 10 uses in this necklace. Elia's life is that red bar you see, filled with fluid. When that reaches 0, she is dead. I want you guys to pay attention. It's not of any huge importance, but note the colors on the necklace and their symbols. That will be... It's important, but not a puzzle, but it is useful to know what they are. Well, since one door was sealed, that leaves only one way to go. Ooh. Judging on the foot there, this room is filled with those strange, grotesque zombies. Engraved on the floor is a striking design featuring the sun sinking below the edge of the world. We've seen something very similar to this before too, haven't we? The candles in the room Alex is in. The design on the wall appears to depict a time of the day. Perhaps the candles do too? So one candle lit all the way on the right is sunset. Almost stepped on that one. If I remember this correctly, you can avoid actually all the pressure plates in this dungeon. And those holes in the wall make me think that there's going to be darts in the walls. Yeah, you can see all of them too. When located by creatures, a sandy loss occurs, causing a decrease in the level of the sandy meter and the character to pulse green. Beware! Sandy loss affects perception and eventually health. Alright, we have to talk about this for a bit, but I think we'll do it after the fight. Because it gives me a chance to talk with you guys, I think as we walk back through the hallway we just were in. Oh, game, why did you suddenly do this to me? Okay. I was about to swing, and now the game pops this up. Sandy meter, that's the green bar that we see. This meter represents a character's sanity. Every time she meets a monster, her sanity will get lower. The lower the sanity, the more the character will hallucinate. Perform a finishing move on a creature, recovers sanity. Finishing a creature immediately purges it, as you've just seen. Not all creatures, when defeated, will vanish automatically. Some might get back up again. Note that that particular zombie looked different than the other ones we had seen. That one was filled with blood and had musculature, as opposed to the other ones which look like dried out husks. It will be somewhat important for you to recognize what these creatures are, and because they are a bit different depending upon what they look like, in more ways than just the way they look. Engraved on the floor is a striking design featuring a brightly burning sun. Oh, we could leave the way we came. This door is still sealed. We can see the symbols on that door again, similar to the ones we've seen in the past. The design on the wall appears to depict a time of the day. Perhaps the candles do too? I'm guessing that since the sunset one was one candle set on the right, that this one is just the middle candle that should be lit. A bronze necklace sits atop an ancient clay urn. Is there anything magical about that one? Oh, we have a map of this location too. I'm guessing that it's going to be somewhat symmetrical, and we'll find that we have another puzzle of some sort on the other side after walking through another hallway of traps. Oops, but I meant to look at the amulet. A well-crafted bronze necklace, resplendent with glowing gems. Now, let's talk about sanity for a bit, everyone, as we be careful about setting off traps down here. When your sanity meter, the lower your sanity meter is, the more fun the game becomes. It begins to try to mess with you, the player, in addition to the character in the game. The world gets creepier, a bit more insane as your character hallucinates. It's really well done. However, if your sanity reaches 0, you will start losing life instead of sanity, and this is the fastest way you can die in this game, aside from being insta-killed by some creatures later on. It's a fine line to walk between seeing all the crazy things which occur in the game and being safe. I'm going to try to play the game a bit on that line. Oh right, characters have stamina in this game. It's not displayed, but characters can become exhausted. And as they become tired, they attack less frequently, with less strength. Oh, I didn't realize we were down some sanity, or I wouldn't have done that. Okay. Alright, let's talk a little bit about combat as well. There is definitely a better way to fight, but I'm going to try to also use these characters in a way where they don't necessarily choose the best things to do, in an attempt to make some of the battles a little more entertaining for us to watch. Elia here probably hasn't seen very much combat, despite the fact she has a weapon. I'm guessing I know nothing about her, and we won't really find out too much about her history, if I recall correctly. But I'm going to have her slice at the bodies of these creatures for a little while, until she maybe has another, 4 or 5 fights before she begins swinging at the thing's arms, or let alone their head. Unless the game requires me to do differently. There is no stamina meter. So we will not know how tired we are. We have to pay attention to the character. Some, for example, run out of stamina, they can't run very far. And we'll be following more than just Elia and Alex and Pius Augustus. Many other characters, we will see their stories unfold too. They all have different statistics, different levels of sanity, different health meters, and what have you. For our meters, we'll have 3 actually we need to keep track of: sanity, life, and mana. I don't think we'll see mana for some time. So we picked up that other bronze necklace, and as pretty as it is, we're still sealed in the temple, and holding on to this doesn't get us out. So let's place this around the neck of this statue. Sorry, I'm looking at the purple symbol I see in the upper left-hand corner. I'm trying to think about what that is trying to tell me. I do know what that says. I think that's saying item. Oh man, I hope I'm right. That'd be amazing if I'm right. Oh, one other non-spoilery thing I want to point out. I'm going to do it now because I'm totally going to forget. It's going to be like 6 episodes from now where it becomes something I want to talk about again. When Pius cast a spell, did you see how many runes were used that surrounded him? Just a little bit of trivia I want you to remember for the future. Engraved on the floor is a striking design of featuring the sun rising above the edge of the world. Interestingly, I guess we could have gone this way without going the other way first. And we can see that, indeed, the leftmost candle is the one that's lit. Ooh. Almost walked on you. I really like that you can see all of the pressure plates and avoid them. Except for this one. Is that right? Nope, that one too. Holy crap, Tim, I'm amazing. A different zombie this time. Faster. Oh! Oh! And it bit us, too. Yeah, hopefully she'll be okay. That was quite a vicious bite. Engraved on the floor is a striking design featuring a starry sky filling the heavens. I think we can safely assume that we have to blow out all of these lights. What was so different about that creature compared to the other one? Well, it seemed to take less hits. It looked like it was a little faster. There's one more thing about that creature. Note that although we did the finishing move on it, I think we did, we're still low on sanity. A little low. That one actually affected us that way. Although maybe the being bit had something to do with that as well. When a creature stares at you, is when the first time it sees you, is when your sanity will be lowered. Creatures can do that multiple times per encounter. So it's important that you pay attention to that, because you're going to want to finish them off quickly. A small pedestal covered with decorative etchings stands before the wall. The blowgun upon it must have some special significance for it to be the focal point of this display.
A secret passage in the temple.
Other colored zombies, blue ones this time, and something weird happened with that last one, and it was a little translucent. I remember what happens. I'm going to wait until we get a better camera angle at them. And what on earth are you doing here? The guard is grateful for Elia saving his life. In return, he offers his services. If Elia brings him a weapon that has been broken, he will repair it, as a gesture of his thanks. Oh, well, how about that? We have a weapon that is broken. Right over here. It's fate. Fragments of the shattered short sword lie upon the floor. Also, I'm surprised Elia was so calm, having taken what an awful fall that was. An ancient weapon. The blowgun propels a poison dart at an enemy, causing death within several seconds. Interesting that the creatures do take poison damage, which means that they are not necessarily dead. Interesting. Let's have him repair the short sword. The item has been repaired. That was very interesting. It cast a spell. Notice as well that it was 3 runes he used. Notice the color as well that he used. All of those will be... I don't want to say important, but they are important, but they're not important in a puzzle sort of way. But that they also are important for us to know going forward. There is no way to cross this without setting it off. Notice that the camera is tilted a little. This is because of our current sanity. We don't want to be too low on sanity. We really can't afford to be losing life. We'll take a look at the center of this room after we make sure there's nothing else in it that could hurt us. Oh, look at the drawing here. The, not drawing, what is this? Engraving? This mural depicts a skeletal demon befriending the ancient Khmer people by denouncing one of their fertility gods. That's obviously Pius Augustus there. That may not be Mantarok. Perhaps there was some sort of horrific monster here, which Pius defeated in order to gain their friendship to venture into this temple. Or be approved to enter it in some capacity. Then again, this could also be Mantarok, but it's impossible for us to know without more information. Alright, nothing here. And it looks like this is missing a lever. There's a hole in this device, as though something can be inserted. Probably a key or a lever. Alright, let's actually save the game. I'm going to try to do what I've been doing for video games, where they're not Iron Man, but I want to kind of make them that way in a way. So I'm going to say, I'll allow myself, I think, one save every 30 minutes or so that elapses. In this way, there's more danger if I die. If we die repeatedly, I'll make saves more frequently. But I don't remember dying very often in this game, although I didn't also try to play it the way I'm going to try. Trying to keep myself from being full on life, on sanity. We have no choice but to cross that. Ooh! How hurt are we? Not badly hurt. Thankfully, they're just, they're not that painful. So that sets off the darts, I'm guessing. It was just a hit in the neck. We'll be fine. Probably. Wow, this place is horrible. Why don't we use this? Sankt Tuturga, where the name's there. For the final 2 rooms. If we hear another purple spell being cast, I'll try to point out at least one of the runes being uttered. Oops, it would help if you turn the right way. Oh! We had some sort of special effect, so something odd happened, but we didn't get a chance to see it thanks to the camera angle. That's a shame. So, when weird things happen, sometimes, depending upon what happened, the character will react a certain way. There she was babbling, mentioning it didn't happen. The screen flashed briefly, because something was ongoing that wasn't ever supposed to happen normally in the game. Or rather, how do I describe it? Like, we may walk into a room and our character may just combust and disintegrate into like a million gibs everywhere, and then suddenly the screen will flash and the character will remark, "This isn't happening," or something to that effect. That's what I think happened there. Well, but we didn't disintegrate, so I wasn't sure what the effect was. We have a lit brazier here. We have another mural on the wall here. Okay, so that creature must not have been Mantarok, because we have another symbol here. This one looks like it is indeed it. This mural depicts one of the ancient Khmer deities being tortured and killed by a skeletal demon. Well, we know exactly what this depicts. So, I suppose so indeed, Pius must have defeated one of the Khmer fertility gods to gain access to this temple, where he destroyed this thing. Unless that creature he destroyed was maybe a servant of Mantarok. And we can see those spiked pillars slamming down into the creature.
Stop. Don't go near it.
So, you are reduced to feeding on flesh and bone, Mantarok. How the mighty have fallen. You will surely fester for millennia to come. A slow and torturous fate for thee. You had best leave, young fool, or you will find yourself as food for the dead god.
You are one of the chosen many. Flesh and blood. It is now your destiny to fight the eternal darkness. I give you a gift in return for an obligation. The gift is your life, sweet dancer. The obligation is this. You hold one of Mantarok's hearts, the essence of the corpse god. To some it is a source of great power. From those people, you must defend it, lest they use it to destroy what little brightness your world has left in it. Guard it well.
It would seem to me that that was a corpse itself. That Mantarok rose to speak with her, is my guess as to what happened there. That makes sense. Her sanity and life have also been fully recovered now that she possesses the heart. Probably a one-time gift. Let's look at Mantarok in all of its glory. I had not read any H.P. Lovecraft stories. This was my first encounter with something as alien as this in my life, and I loved it. Well, is that right? No, I played some Dungeons & Dragons stuff, so there were some things there. Some of my Choose Your Own Adventure books also had creatures like this, but this was my first computer game exposure to something like this. I thought it was incredibly well done. I couldn't even grasp how someone could come up with it, creating a creature like this. A statue of a human female bears witness to the monstrosity that fills the room. The porous stone of its body is covered with the effluvial grime that Mantarok has secreted over the years. It's spittle. What do we learn as well? Pios did not kill us. He let us live. Interesting. Perhaps he thought she was cute. Or something of the sort. Maybe there was something that was blocking him from actually viewing her as a threat, because she is none to him. Interestingly, he mentioned that Mantarok is now reduced to feeding on flesh and bone. This hints that it was not always so, and that things have not gone well for the poor corpse god. another statue, but nothing new listed there about it. We should look at the first statuette, too. And then we'll go back and take it to get that door. Oh, we have the symbol right here, too. Can we look at this? An eye in the center of a mouth with tentacles coming out from it. A metal staff is held by the arms of the statue. Oh, we can... Okay, good thing we did this. We can take it. Oh! This is probably the lever that we need. Can we look around again? Oh, we can look around at the entirety of it if we so wish. Thankfully, we're not losing any sanity by being near the creature. I suppose having the fertility gods or what have you here in the past, the stories must not have been told to Elia, and she probably isn't fazed very much by them. At the very least, she's not afraid of Mantarok since it didn't kill her and eat her like it did the others. I also have no clue how much time has elapsed since we were zapped by Mantarok and now. I'm guessing not much time has elapsed, though. As for why Pius was even here, I'm not sure. Pius can probably come and go as he pleases for reasons we will see later. That one I'm going to let do its thing, so I can show you guys what happens. These strange blue zombies, when they're close to death, they sing. If you don't kill them quickly, chop off their heads before they finish their song, they detonate. When they detonate, the detonation is dependent upon the amount of them which are currently singing. If there's like 6 of them singing, I think, and they detonate, it will fill the room with the explosion. The range and the damage that they do increases with each one that is partaking in their choir. Enough to kill you outright if there's too many of them. Oh, there's something special here. Because I'm not walking very quickly. Oop, there is a creature. Oh, I'm not allowed to finish them off. There we go. That one we can. How hurt are we? We're hurt enough to use the necklace. I hear the darts activated. Oh, or deactivated. So it's an on-off switch. Oh, that'll be useful for when I play this game another 20 years from now. I can walk on and off them. I thought it was always on. How about that? Have to move in. Oh, yes, the Merle. Yep, that's... I didn't want to see that at all. We have 2 singing. We're just going to run away. And we'll use this just to make sure we're healed. Much bigger AoE with just 2. I think the chanting... The chanting is because we're insane. Is that right? We're getting very close to being it. So the music's going to change, and notice the angle of the room is now shifted quite a bit. You might be wondering why Mantarok has all these horrific creatures in it. Well, they're not Mantarok's creatures. Not all of them. Oh, what the heck? No! But we can go under this.
This isn't really happening.
Seeking into stone isn't generally something that does occur. And I said it would help me 20 years from now. But it'll actually help me now if we can...
Yes, Mom. Oh, no.
Poor Elia. She was not ready for this. Okay, that is always on once on. Ah! Just go. We're okay. We're okay. Lots of traps to stop people from walking through here, but it doesn't stop Pius from walking where he likes. There must be some sort of central switch which turns on or off all the traps to make this easier for folks who are normally allowed access to this area. And there must be another exit from the temple. Oh, I just feel... I don't think I've ever seen these before. A segment of the wall there is missing. How about this side? I wonder if Mantarok made people. Mantarok looks like he's also getting hungry, but I don't think he'll eat us since we do have one of his hearts. Was checking to see if our sanity is being restored. It is not, so we have to make do with what we have.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know.
All that's in here is a single statue. Well, it's important enough to have it been sealed away.
Fool! You should have run. Instead, you will die. Where is the essence of Mantarok? Where is it? I will not ask again, child. Very well, then. You will succumb to the horrors of oblivion.
everyone. We have a little bit of time. We can maybe investigate what just got lit here. Let's save the game first. After that chapter, I realized that not everything is going to be happy in this game, and it was one of the first times I've encountered a game where things don't go the way you might want them to go, and I was very curious how this was going to end. I'm not going to spoil it for a review, but I very much enjoyed the story of this game because of I didn't see the twists happening until right near the very end. A small shrine of candles. Their placement appears to be very deliberate, corresponding to the etchings on the table and an illustration upon the wall. Some of the candles have been lit. Judging from the picture, we can see that its day is dawning. With the correct sequence of candles being lit, a hidden panel opens. There is a message tube inside. This may... Well, let's save the game. Again. Alright, guys. I wanted to make sure that we don't actually run into another chapter, since I was worried the game might immediately launch into one after opening this scroll tube. Thankfully, it won't. But we will get a very interesting cutscene to end this video on. Let's go ahead and see what's in that message tube. An antique leather-bound message tube, the kind used to transport sealed message scrolls. It appears to be unopened. There might be something inside. Suspicions of conspiracy.
Thy presence is long missed, my liege.
The universe is a yawning chasm, filled with emptiness and the puerile meanderings of sentience. Why should you deserve special consideration within it, Augustus, above all else?
I am your servant, my lord. As always. That and nothing more.
Yes, that and nothing more. What revelations do you bring me?
My meditations reveal a flaw in our plan.
Our plan, Augustus? Mantarok is a shadow ebbing in the light of our glory. It and the others are slow, weak, bound by the realm of the universe. Unable to unite to fight a common foe, they will fall one by one. Unfortunately, this is beyond your understanding. The binding of Mantarok will seal their fate as its power over us is diminished. Such an irony that the Keeper itself be imprisoned within the walls of its own magic.
But what of its essence? Is that not the core of its remaining power?
Upon my seeping into the corporeal world, I will be the dominant over all, Mantarok included. Your worries are unfounded. You must turn your attention to Charlemagne the Frank. His continued presence within the world is far more serious to our cause.
As you wish, Master. He will be dead before the week is out.